Hello friends, today I wish to explain to you a very interesting problem. This is called as the Bermuda Triangle experiment. I believe that you have heard about the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, or the Devil's Triangle, is the expanse of the Atlantic Ocean between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, covering approximately 500,000 square miles of sea. I've shown the diagram here. This covers around 500,000. This triangle area is 500,000 square miles of sea. This is a very mysterious stretch of sea and has an unusually high occurrence of disappearing ships and planes. There are various theories why the ships completely disappear. For example, on Halloween 1991, a pilot called John Verdi and his co-pilot were flying from Grumman, flying a jet over the triangle. They were flying a jet over this triangle. They radioed the nearest tower to get permission to increase their altitude. So from there, they're radioing and we want to increase our altitude. The tower agreed and watched as the jet began the ascent and then completely disappeared off the radar. Where did it go? Nobody has any idea to date. The jet did not fly out of range of the radar. It did not descend. It did not radio again. It just vanished. And the plane and the crew were never recovered. This is not one of the isolated cases. There are many cases. You can check that on the internet. The famous disappearance of the Thomas Lynch Jr., the unexplained loss of the US Cyclops. There it is the biggest Navy loss. The US Cyclops had 309 people and it completely disappeared on March 4th, 1918 after leaving Barbados. Now this is extremely mysterious. So I have made a problem based on this. Okay. Now imagine that there is a plane traveling from Miami to Bermuda. So this is the plane. Let me show it in a different color here. So this is the plane from Miami. It's traveling to Bermuda, like so. Along its path from Miami to Bermuda, it is cruising at 300 miles per hour. So what is the speed? 300 miles per hour. When it notifies the tower that it is in autopilot now. Now the entire trip is 1035 miles. So this trip is how much? 1035 miles. We want to determine how much time we should let pass before we become concerned that the plane has encountered trouble. So the plane is moving like this and it is already 300 miles away. So let us assume that T is equal to the time elapsed. Time elapsed since the plane went on autopilot. Since the plane went on autopilot. So in that time, it would have traveled a distance of 300 t. 300 into t, because it's moving at a speed of 300 miles per hour. So in t hours, 300 t. But it's already 150 meter away. You can see that the plane is already 150 meter away. So the total distance would be 150 plus 300 t. This is the distance, the plane's distance from Miami after t hours. So after t hours, the distance, plane's distance from Miami along the Bermuda path is 150 plus 300t. Let me write it here. 150 plus 300t. But the entire stretch is 1035. So this should be greater than or equal to 1035. Once it passes the 1035, we are in safe limits. Now using our basic inequality, we are going to solve for t. So how do you solve for t? Subtract 150 from both sides. So I have 150 plus 300t minus 150 greater than or equal to 1035 minus 150. Cut this. So 300t should be greater than or equal to 885, or t should be greater than or equal to 2.95 hours. Since 2.95 is roughly 3, the tower will suspect trouble if the plane has not arrived in 3 hours. So the plane should arrive here in 3 hours. If the plane doesn't arrive in 3 hours after start, that means we have to start worrying. So what is happening here is that the plane has started from Miami to Bermuda. It is already 150 meter, and then it is put on autopilot. After 150 meter, they're putting it on autopilot. It's cruising at 30 miles per hour. For how much time? For time t. Now it has to cross the boundary of 1035 miles. Only then we can say that it is safe. If it does not cross that, maybe the plane too has disappeared, like the many disappearances which have occurred in this Devil's Triangle. Now please read more about this. The Bermuda Triangle, there are lots of theories floating as to what happened to these ships. There is also theory floating that there are aliens which have abducted these ships. Many interesting theories. You can believe in any one which you like. But the problem still persists. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you understood how we used inequality in the Bermuda Triangle experiment.